Alright everyone, just a quick audio heads up. The normal microphone that I use right now is having difficulty and I don't really have time to fiddle around with it until later. So I'm just using the normal, like the actual C920 audio input. So it's going to be a little bit, not quite as crisp as usual, but you can still hear me, so it's okay. We got to talk about the West Virginia Supreme Court because the whole thing just got impeached. That is, the other day the House in West Virginia said, all four justices, one of them resigned. Two Democrats and two Republicans, by the way, totally nonpartisan and bipartisan in form. They're all misusing taxpayer funds. One of the infamous charges, $31,000 for a sofa. What kind of sofa costs $31,000? Dude, you can get a small house in some parts of the country, certainly parts of West Virginia for that. You can get a pretty nice car or a couple of, mid-end cars for that price. What kind of sofa costs that much money? Where did you manage to go in West Virginia, of all places, and find that sort of luxury item? What is it? Is it decked out with silver filigree or something? Oh yeah, it's like, there's 100 pounds of silver on this fucking sofa. And that's why it costs so much. It's like sitting on a brick, but, it looks good at least. I don't understand it. But, yeah, they've all been impeached. Now, first and foremost, again, this is two Democrats and two Republicans, which is why you're not seeing it much, because the legacy media, 90% of them, and even some of the alt media, they can't report on anything that involves the political structure if it's nonpartisan or bipartisan. It warps their mind. They can't get through the false dichotomy because they've been brainwashed, or because they're paid to pretend to be brainwashed. That's number one. Number two, this is not the same as removal. This is just impeachment. This is the House in West Virginia saying, we think that a crime was committed here. There's a big problem and we want him removed. We're referring articles of impeachment. And again, it's totally by Democrats and Republicans both voting for it because they're like, how can you possibly defend this particular kind of behavior? You got to realize, I never understood, why is it that someone who gets into a position like that, they're making a good salary, they get free health care or heavily subsidized government health care, they get, taxpayers will pay for their burger for lunch, they pay for travel, they get all sorts of extra discretionary spending for virtually everything, and then they get all of these bonuses. And they've got a 12-year-long position, so they're like, hey, someone's in their 50s and their 60s, by the time they're done with that, if they've invested it all, they can retire. They don't have a problem. And then they get a pension thereafter. These people probably resign in order to prevent themselves from losing their pensions by being fired from their job by the West Virginia Senate, by the way. They'll probably resign instead of getting removed from office, because they know they're probably going to get removed, which means that West Virginia will have a zero Supreme Court members for a while. They will have no Supreme Court that's actually in operation, which will be, I don't know, is that a first anywhere in this fucking country? I'm pretty sure it might be. So congrats to West Virginia. You've done the impossible. Your Supreme Court was so shitty, was so corrupt that everybody is off of the Supreme Court and it no longer exists as an entity. Very, very funny. Who's going to make the legal decisions? I don't know. I guess the Dog Catchers Association or something. But this is the House recommending charges through impeachment to the Senate. They look into it, they'll question, they'll examine, and make their determination and vote. There's a 99% chance, though, they get removed if they don't bother to resign. They'll probably resign. The gig is up. But how do you do that? You've got, like, at least you're living in West Virginia, by the way, of all places, not necessarily the highest cost part of the country. You're getting a high salary and all of these other bonuses, and then you decide, hey, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to fuck my own career and be a disgrace to my own state in order to embezzle money that I'll probably end up having to pay back anyway. How does a person who is qualified enough to become a judge, how do they not know that they're going to get caught doing that anyway? It doesn't make sense. In D.C., you can cover it up. Like, Congress has that pool of millions of dollars to pay off sex abuse claims. Like, literally, and you've never heard about that again after they brought it up the first time, and you probably never will because nothing will come of it. They're going to keep that collective pot of opaque cash there because Congress really likes to, rape and molest and do all those horrible things. Because, they do it to the country all the time. They can't pay off the taxpayers enough. They get paid by the taxpayers to abuse them. It's a very strange system. I always thought it was funny that we hold people who can actually fuck up the entire country to less account than we would a part-time night janitor. Part-time night janitor, stole $100, throw the book at him, throw him in prison. Somebody embezzled millions of dollars, that's okay. It's only a few $1,000,000, nobody cares. Very strange. As long as they have a letter after their name, 50% of the population will be dumb enough to support them no matter what they do. And the other half will want to throw them in jail even if they did nothing. Very strange system. But yeah, I'm pretty sure, and you can point out if I'm wrong here, please let me know. Is this the first time that an entire Supreme Court has been impeached? I'm 99% sure that it is. It's not surprising that it would happen in this particular political paradigm, though. Things are so slimy and so stupid at all times now within D.C. and it seems within many state houses. I'm not that surprised. I should be. I should be appalled. You should be appalled that something like this would happen. Instead, I'm just going to sit there chuckling. It's like these people are so far gone in state and local, not to let alone federal government. And, you know, the globalist bureaucracy. They're all so slimy and corrupt. It's like, no, someone spent $30,000 on a couch because of their taxpayer funding? Yeah, color me unsurprised. And that's about all. Peace out.